Welcome back to another episode of AscensionU podcast. My name is John and I am your host for today's show. In this episode, we are going to dive into the topic of limiting beliefs and how they are potentially hindering your performance and ascension, both on a personal and professional level. So let's dive right in. When it comes to limiting beliefs, it's probably the number one topic that I discuss most as a performance mindset coach, because it's one of those things below the surface that is causing the results that we see above the surface. So it's the roots. It's the root cause of a lot of what's happening above the surface for us on a personal and professional level. So limiting belief is simply something that you hold to be an absolute truth for you. Now, the most important thing to realize with limiting beliefs is, just like most of the mindset stuff that we do here, it's just a story. It's just a narrative that you have based off of your past influences, your experiences, and some of the results that you've had up to this point in your life. It shapes your perception on how you see yourself and how you show up in the world, which now creates certain expectations that either serve you or don't serve you in terms of your own ascension, moving towards your goals on a personal and professional level. The first key to changing a limiting belief is we have to first be self-aware. What is the limiting belief? What are the limiting beliefs I have? And once we start to understand what are the limiting beliefs, we now have the choice to change it. And that is the key. It's a choice. It's a decision that I'm not going to tell myself this story on repetition anymore about how I see myself and how I show up in the world. Because your subconscious mind doesn't necessarily believe it to be true. It's just because you've told it with repetition and enough intensity over time that it believes it to be true. So we can also do the same to create a new belief, to create a new neural pathway. So the first step is to be aware. Now that we're aware, we have the ability to make a choice and take ownership of, I'm going to take accountability to change how I see myself and the beliefs that I have and reframe them to something that actually serves me. So that's step number 2, reframe. Reframing the narrative around the belief. Now that you know what your limiting beliefs are, what is the opposite to those beliefs? And now that you know what the opposite of those beliefs is, I want you to think about, is it possible that that could also be true? What evidence do I have to support this new belief that actually serves me and takes me towards my goal, that takes me towards my vision? And now that we start to fill our positive proof bucket, our evidence bucket that we really are this person, we can start to tell that new story, that new narrative with repetition and use things like affirmations then to turn it into positive statements. And the importance of an affirmation is it just simply gives us something to repeat over and over that allows us to build up the repetition that's needed for us to actually change at a subconscious and in terms of a neural level. So we need to create a new story now that we've reframed it. And the third step is using your most important tool, your imagination. It's the difference maker for us and different species, or us and other things in the universe, is we have the ability to imagine. We have the ability to think beyond the 5 senses. We can think of situations that haven't even happened yet. Now, the problem is most of us are actually imagining stuff that doesn't serve us. Most of us are fueling our imagination with the limiting beliefs. Why I can't do this. Why I'm always going to fail. And this is the stuff that we're imagining over and over, further reinforcing the story. So I want you to think about your goals. And then I want you to create that into a mental clip that you can think about on a daily basis. Who is it I need to become? Who is it I want to become? What will it be like when I accomplish my goal? What will it be like when I cross that finish line? And that is the stuff that you want to start to imagine. Now, like anything we do with mindset, it's a skill. It's going to take repetition. It's going to take a lot of reminders, and it's going to take a lot of reinforcing. So the first step will be to bring awareness. And once you're aware of those limiting beliefs, now we have the choice to reframe and to build a new narrative that we tell over and over. And then we further strengthen that narrative with the power of imagination. And it's the imagination that's really going to help us implant that into our subconscious mind. And for as powerful as the mind is, it's also pretty stupid because it doesn't know the difference between what's real and not real. So the more time you spend imagining your future self in different scenarios or situations, the more your subconscious mind is going to adopt that as something that's already happened, especially if we can bring more emotion and intensity into it. And that's something we'll cover on another topic. But today I just wanted to focus on what's a limiting belief, how can we bring awareness to it, how can we reframe it, find the evidence that this could also be true, start to build a narrative around it, and now tie the imagination into it, which is going to allow us to actually create the mental clips of us succeeding, which over time is going to help build repetition and create new expectations for our brain and our mind in terms of what it is we want to feel and experience on a daily basis as we move towards our own personal and professional ascension. I hope you found this podcast episode valuable. Don't forget to hit subscribe, share it on your Instagram or on your Facebook. The more people we can reach, the more people we can impact here as we look to bring you more content in the coming weeks and months ahead.